Okay, I thought I would record my next blanket that I'm doing and then explain a few things. Okay, my next blanket is laying here in front of me. It's going to be a baby blanket. Okay, the chain is not on the graft, so I did my chain. The first row is a row of single crochet, and I did my row of single crochet. I did my chain and my single crochet in the color of the left hand box, which is green. Some say, well, why do you do that when each box across it will be a different color? Well, it's easier to do that way. If you do a border, you won't even see the chain. And a lot of times what I will do is end the top in one solid color too. And there you go. It looks fine. Okay, so I've started out with my chain. I've done my single crochet. I'm working from right to left because, left to right. I'm starting on this side, which is left to right, because I'm right-handed. You'd go the other way if you're left-handed. Everything I'm talking about is for a right-handed person. A left-handed person would do just the opposite. Okay, it's telling me I need 13 green pops for my first color. I've done those. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I pull up a loop on my last 13th pop. I'm going to count over one stitch, and my next color is yellow. So I'm going to grab my yellow. I'm going to tie it in, and I just tie a knot. Put my hook back in my pulled up stitch from my popcorn. I'm going to insert my hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop. I'm going to take the green and I'm going to pull it behind my work. You want it to the back of your work. Then you're going to take and you're going to grab your yellow and pull it through both stitches of the green. And then in the next stitch where you made your knot, you're going to do your first yellow popcorn. And you're going to do it right over that knot so you won't even see the knot. And then a pop, a single crochet, and then a pop. And we're going to do that across until we have 13 pops. I say pops because that's short for popcorn. You can do bobbles. I do popcorns. Whatever you prefer. It's another nice thing about these patterns is because it gives you variety. But once you learn one, they're all basically the same. They're done the same. The coloring, change in colors is the same. The stitches are the same. And there's not a whole lot of trying to figure out what you're supposed to do, because you just do whatever the graph shows you to do. If it shows an empty box, that means it's a single crochet, and it means it's one single crochet. Each blank box is one single crochet. Each black box is one popcorn. The numbers, they're numbered for you to tell you how many single crochet before the pop. Very simple pattern. Okay, I'm going to do 13 yellow. So according to my pattern, even though it's in front of me like this, keep in mind I'm working on the back, but I'm doing the front. So I'm working this way across. So it's going to be green, yellow, and then my next color will be pink. So I'll do 13 yellow. And I'm just going to crochet down to the end. I'm not real good with videos, guys, but I try. I so much want people to learn how to do these because they're so easy, and to me it's like learning a new stitch. We take the time to watch videos to learn new stitch. We ask questions. It's fun. It's for me anyway. Some people, they just want plain simple. Basically somebody else do it, but I like to learn new things. When I first started doing the Graphigan blankets, I've seen a picture of a dog that I wanted to do for my sister so bad, and I bought that pattern, and I didn't understand it. I ripped it out about 4 different times. I couldn't get any help from anybody. I didn't understand how it was going on. I finally figured it out, and I made over 40 of them, and by the time I got done, I had that done. I had the patterns down. I am so glad I learned. A lot of people will sell those patterns for you, but when it comes time to teach you how to do something, then they're not there. I didn't want to be like that because I remember how frustrated I was on those Graphigans. But I also knew I wasn't going to give up. If somebody else could do them, so could I. And I did. I figured them out. Okay, we got 13 pops. We're going to pull up that loop. We're going to skip a single crochet. And our next color is pink. So we're going to grab our pink. And when you first start these, it's a little bit of a mess going on. But once you get those first, I would say 6 rows in, it's a breeze. I mean, it's just no tangled mess, no nothing. And I'm working with all these colors. Okay, so the next stitch, pull up a yellow, take your yellow, pull it to the back so it's hanging from the back side. Grab your pink, pull it through the 2 yellow. Now make your pop. And even though I show you different things to do, what's nice about it is because it's not like it's the only way to do it, I guess. We can all add to, do something that's easier for us. I don't say you have to do it this way. I'm just showing you the basic steps of how it's done. And it's like this on all my patterns. They're all just basic, simple steps. Single crochet, popcorn, or bobble, and color change. If you want to color change. That's another nice thing about it. These patterns, if you don't feel like doing the color change, don't do the color change. Just follow the pattern and follow it all in one color. And they do look just as pretty too. I think popcorn's basically just are pretty blankets. I have been going back and forth. I'm doing, my patterns come with printed because a lot of people and me like to do printed. I like to print from home. I print right off of my printer. I have been taking and doing a few patterns on the one-page computer view that I provide with my patterns. So there's 2 ways you can do them. You can do them on the computer where you don't have to print, or you can print them out. And I like that too. So I've been kind of going back and forth with them. I've been doing them both ways. And both ways are really actually easy. The reason why I don't put little marks all over the paper where you do color changes is because the color change is pretty basic and simple on all patterns. I mean, it's pretty simple. And there would leave so much markings and stuff all over the paper. I think it would cause more confusion than helpfulness to have all that stuff just marked all over there. And it's basically pretty simple because you're making your color changes between your blocks. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. But I wanted to show you too how I do it, because sometimes just seeing how it's done. I know some people were, at first when I started teaching a lot of people how to do these, they were like, how do you do your colors like that? And it's just working with more than one color, and once you get it going, it's actually really easy because, or some people say, well, they tangle so much. Well, if you flip it one way and flip it the other, you'll tangle it one way and then you'll untangle it the other way. So it's really easy. You just can't flip your blanket all over. But then again, I'm not putting my blanket in and out of a basket or something. Mine lays out on a table. And I just roll my table away from my chair when I'm done, and my blanket lays on my table. I'm not picking it up, putting it in and out of a basket or anything like that. So it's really always out all the time. Okay, did 2 more pops than what I needed. Okay, there's my 13th pop. So I'm going to pull up a loop, and my next color is going to be purple. So I'm going to skip a stitch. I'm going to grab my purple and tie it in. Like I said, once you get going, like you get like 4 or 5 rows going on this, it's really simple. It's, you know. Okay, now next stitch, pull up a pink, pull your pink to the back. Grab your purple, pull your purple through 2. That's the color change between the pops. And then do your first purple pop. So we got a color change between the 2 pops, which when you say a color change, it's actually a pink stitch, but we color changed on it, so it's considered a color change. I love doing colors, so I love colorful blankets, but I don't like sewing. I don't like sewing. I try to show you as much as I can. Everybody can be at such different levels. Sometimes you just don't know what to say or what to show. And sometimes you just gotta dig in and do it. Because just because I do it one way doesn't mean you'll be doing it that way. We all got to find our own little niche. Or, you know, why do you do it like that when this would be easier, you know? And that's what it's all about, is learning and being willing to, you know, dig in and try something. So I try to show as much as I can, not because I'm saying, oh, you have to do it this way, because I want to give you ideas of where to start and what you can do to make it easier for you. But sometimes it's just showing, like on my Graphigans, I wish somebody would have showed me how to drop and pick up yarn. Let me tell you, first one I did, I had it halfway done and I was carrying my main color all the way through it. And it was looking tacky and it looked nasty and it was heavy and bulky, and I was like, something ain't right. So I had to pull it out. I think I pulled that thing out 4 times. Okay. So I'm almost on my 13th pop. And if you looked across the graph, each one said 13 pops. So I'm just doing 13 pops in each color. Like I said, you pull when you change colors, when you're working on the back sides facing you, you're going to pull that string to the back. So all your strings hang in the back. You never want your strings hanging. If you always keep them in the back, you're going to end up with a nice, clean, sharp line on the back side, which looks really pretty. Okay. Let me count my pops so I don't do more than what I need like I just did on the last one. And all I did here was did pop and a single crochet and a pop and a single crochet across until I ended up with 13. Okay, so I'm on my last one. It's going to be 13. So you do your pop. I have more videos with close-ups of how to do a pop, how I do them. Okay, there's 13, and that's also another preference, what you prefer, a pop or a bobble. Okay, so I pulled that up, skip a stitch, grab your next color, which is blue, tie it in, okay, pull up a purple, take and cross it to the back. Now pull your blue through both the purples. Do your first pop in that stitch. Okay. And do 13 pops going across. What I do is crochet over that tail that I had tied in, and then when it gets small enough I just trim it off. Basically in this one I'm just showing you how you can work with a lot of colors, and it looks like I got a real mess going on down here, but it really is not a mess. And like I said, by the time you get 4 rows on, it moves so smoothly that, and after I get that first set of blocks on it, it'll really move fast. But how you keep them from tangling is you just flip it one way and then you flip it the other. So one minute you got your strings tangled, the next minute you don't. What I like to do is when I'm doing the pops rows, I like my strings to be straight. And when I'm doing my single crochet, I will let them be crossed, because you need more moving of your strings when you're doing your popcorn rows, because it takes more yarn. So when you do your single crochets, you don't, so I let them cross on that. But that's, you know, just the way I do mine. Okay, so what I got here is I'm finishing up with my last of my 13 blue ones. My blue's a little darker, but I'm using up some carrying I had, and so it is what it is. It's another reason why all my patterns Sometimes the color chart will be one thing and the blanket itself I post will be something else, because the testers will use a different color. And that's fine, because I feel that any color can be used anyway, so it's not an important part of the pattern itself. I do list what color they used. On some of the older ones I wasn't, but I try to, if they change from the color chart, I try to list what they use, so you know, in case you want to use that color. Okay, so here I am. I have the Pops Rose done. If I turn it over, you can see. Okay, now if I flip this way, you'll see if I hold up, it's just like it's in front of me. I got the dark blue, the purple, the yellow, the pink. Okay, and then I'm gonna take and single crochet my single crochet, and my strings are crossed right now, and they're not really that messy. But when you single crochet across, you're going to do a color change just like you would on anything. Sort of look at it like when you do, if you was to crochet a plain old single crochet blanket or a double crochet, how would you change colors? That's exactly how you're going to do your color change on something like this too. Okay, so now when you do your single crochet row, you know when to change colors, because I'm crocheting in blue, there's really not a whole lot of counting that you need to do on your single crochet row. Okay, on your last blue stitch, you just stick your hook in, pull up a blue, hold it, and you don't have to cross it because you're on your single crochet row. Take your new color, pull it through the two blue, and then continue on with your new color and your single crochet. So there you have your color change on your single crochet row, and it's right there between your two pops. And when you turn it over, so I'm working with all these colors at one time, and they're crossed this time, but after I get to the end of the single crochet row and I flip it back over, then they'll be untangled again. So when I get ready to do the popcorn row, they'll be untangled. Of course, they're going to be tangled now because I'm trying to show you, but see there. Well, I had a little bit of a mess because I had to see, but they're untangled. Because if you flip them one way and then flip them the other, they become untangled. But that's how you work with more than one color. You just have them all on at the same time, and you change as you need them.